Hello friend, welcome back. In a previous video, I already discussed about that things with you, how can create the create page. So first of all, here I design our create page. And now I want to do, if you put your first name, last name, email and phone number, and if you click on the add data, all the data will be stored in our database table. That means on particular that position. So how can do that work? In this video, I will show you that things with a live example. So for doing this, first of all, we have to create one of the route for this one. Like if you go to the route area, like here, I just copy it. Okay. And now I paste it. As I told you before, when you want to insert some of the data, then you have to use that post method. So right now I want to insert some of the data. For the reasons you have to define as a post method. So I just define as a post. Okay, and then this URL will be the same in our create, and in our student controller. Now I want to store all the data. For the reasons I just define one of the another method as a store. Okay, I just define as a method as a store, and this name I just call as a store. So here I just defining as a store on particular that position. And then we have to work in our create page, that means on here. So first of all, that all that our input field, like that is our name field, that is our last name, that is our email and phone. So here first of all, I just want to put some of the name for this field. Like here I just define that name. Okay, and I just name it as a first name. Okay, I just define as a first name, and also this one for the last name. So here I just define that name, and here I just define as a last name, and then this one is the email. So here I just define that name, I just name it as an email, and also this one is the phone. So I just define that name as a phone. Okay, so here I just define all that, first of all that name. And now we have to add some of the action in our form, like they have some of the form, and into the form they have some of the action. So here we have to add some of the actions, like when you should be insert the data, where exactly it should be redirected. I already created one of the route for this one, like there is a method as the store method. So in your store method, I just name it with the store, right? So now I just put that route. So on particular that position, so here I just define that route, like here the route. Okay, and here I just define that route as name as a store. So for the reasons I just define as a store. For the reasons actually I am using that name. So for now actually I can access that route with this store name. So for the reasons I just define that route and store. And now I have to add the method, because here I also already added the method as a post method. So we have to also defining it on here. Like here I just define that method, and it should be the post method. So here I just defining as a post method. I hope you can well understand about it, what exactly the things I want to do. So that's all we have to do on particular that positions. Like here when he'll be add that, that means submit that data. So in our form here I just put some of the action, it should be redirected to our store method, and here it should be the post. So if you go to the route, here you can see there is a post method, and it should be redirected to our store method. So now we have to work in our store method. So I have to add that store method in our student controller. So now go to our student controller, and here I want to create new method, like as a public, and then function, and here our method name as a store. Okay, I just defined that our store method. I hope it's very much clear to you what exactly the things I want to do on particular that position. And in our store method, first of all, you have to get that request. So here I just define that request, and also here I just take the things with one of the variable as a request. Okay, I just defining as a request. So it's by default. I already discussed about that things with you when you actually create one of the resourceful controller. Like here, if you go to that HTTP, and here there is a controller. I already created one of the resourceful controller, and here you can see in our resources controller there is a request, and request is automatically ready-made on particular that positions. So right now I am actually creating one of the simple controller for the student controller. For the reasons I just name it as a request, and that is actually the request. So now in particular that position, first of all I want to validate it. Like here I just define as a these. Okay, these, and here I just define the validation, that means the validate. Okay, I just define that validate with this request. So here I just define that request. Okay, It means, first of all, I want to actually validate all the data. Like if this field is empty, then it should be show some of the message. If this last name will be the empty, then it should be also show some of the message. So first of all, I just make that all that field as a required. Okay. So for the reasons, I just define some of the validations. So how can create it? I will show you. Like here, I just have to define it with the array. Sorry, with the array here. I just defining it. Like here I have to define all that field. Like first of all, here I have to define our first name. So I already assigned the name on here, that is the first name. So here I just define that first name, and first name I just defining it as a required. So I just defining as a required, and also better I just copy it because I want to make all the field as a required. So that should be the first name, and also there is a last name. So I just define that last name field will be the required. Phone email will be the required. So here I just define that email, and also another field as a phone. So I also make the things as a required. So all the things will be required, and here I just defining add that things with the array, and for the array in the last you don't need to add the comma. Okay, so for the reasons I just remove it from here. And now after that I want to add our model. Like here I just take one of the variable as a student. Okay, I just define one of the variable, and here I just create one of the object for this student model. So here I just define that student model on particular that position. So if you use that model, then you have to also use it. So here you have to use it. Like here I use, okay, use with our app folder, and then our student. So here I just define our student model on particular that position. I hope you can well understand about it. It is our app, and here you can see that is one of the student models. So that is our student model. And now I want to actually first of all as pass that all the things with this student. Like here with this student, I just define that our first name. Okay, I just define our first name. That means our database field name. So our database, I just defining as a, if you go to the better structure. So our field name as a first name. So I just copy it. Now here with this student, I just define our this one as a first name. Okay, and then I defining it with this request. That means here with this request, I just put that on here. So with this request, I just defining our field name. Our field name is I defining as a first name. So here I just defining the first name. So, and I also have to do the same things because here I want to save all the data. So here I just defining it. So it should be our database field name. So our database for the last name, I just defining as a last name. Okay, so here I just defining the last name, and with this request it should be matched with our field name. So that means here I just defining our field name as a last name, right? I already validate all the things on particular that position. So here I just defining that last name, and then our database field name as email ID. Okay, so here there is email, and that is also as email, and database field as a phone. So here with this student, I just defined as a phone, and here I just passed with the request as a phone. Perfect. And after that, I want to save it. So for now, with this student variable, like here I just define a student. So with this student, I want to save it. So here I just define that save all the data. I hope you can well understand about it. And after that save data, where exactly it should be redirected. Okay, it means if you actually insert the first name, last name, all the data, and if you click on the add data, and when the data will be inserted, if you want to redirect it to the another page, you can also do that work. And also I want to display some of the message, like all the student data inserted successfully. So this type of also I want to visual some of the message. So first of all, he will be saved, and after that save I want to redact it. So here I just define that return and then redact. Okay, and the redact, and here I have to define that route. So I want to do like after that save data, it should be redirected to our home directory. That means here. Okay, so for now I just defining as a home, and here I just defining first of all our route. Okay, our route, and in our route here I want to actually assigning it as a home. You can see I just name it as a home because that is will be our main URL. That means the home URL, and I just name it as a home. For now, I just defining it on here. Okay. So for the reasons, I just define that route as a home route, which will be redirected. And also I want to do like that is actually we have to finish it. So that is one bracket and that is our out bracket. Perfect. And after that, if you want to show some of the message, I also want to do that things when this data will be inserted, then it should be also show with some of the message. So for the reasons here, I just define one of the Laravel function as a with. I also want to show some of the message. For the reasons here, I just defining one of the variable as a success. Okay, success message. So and here I just defining some of the message, which message it should be visible. Like here it should be visible as a student successfully added. So I think step by step it should be very much clear to you what exactly the things I did on particular that position. So here that's all. I just save that data, and after that save, here I just return to our home page and with some of the message. So which message? That means the student successfully added message. And here I added some of the successful message. So laterally I will show you how can show that message with this variable. Okay, so in our home page, that means welcome, we have to actually visible that message. So how can do that to work? I will continue this process, and in our next video I will show you that things with the live example. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.